Sanibonani, welcome to Initiating Insight with Sibongile. In the last few weeks, we've had a Gauteng Department of Social Development in the quest to have them educate so that we may understand their processes and systems that are in place which run the programs of the services they render to millions of South Africans. And today, we are joined by MEC Nandi Mayatula Khoza. Ma'am, welcome.
Thank you. Hi, Sibongile.
Are you well?
I'm well, thanks. And how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
And hello to your viewers as well.
Yes.
Yes.
MEC, we needed to be here because we've covered other programs that are run by social development. And we thought we should get you here as the head of the department.
Yes.
So as to understand from your point of view, you know, the challenges and the successes and the programs that you run as to whether we have even done justice in communicating some of these programs. But first of all, I would like us for you to tell the viewers who you are, other than the fact that you are the MEC. Who is the MEC? Because we look at you and we think, MEC, and MEC is the deal.
Yes,
One, we forget that you're a human being.
Yeah.
You are a woman.
Yes.
And, you know, you have family.
Yes.
So we just think, MEC, no, she must deliver. She must do everything on time. We don't care who she is.
Yeah.
So please tell us and grace us with that information.
Thank you very much, Sibongile. Of course, I'm a mother. I'm a mother of 4 children, 3 girls and 1 boy, and I'm married. And
she's married. She's married now.
I was born in Soweto. And then I had to leave for Swaziland. You know, I spent 10 years of my time in Swaziland, in exile, but came back, you know, after we attained freedom. And yeah, I come from Soweto, what used to be the dusty streets of Soweto, which are now tarred streets of Soweto.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. You talk about exile. And for me, people who are exiled, I would think of my grandfather, you know, and all other people who really fought for our freedom. I must say this, I'm known to be chachara, to be a charm and all of that, but you know I speak the truth. And one of the things I want to declare right now is that she looks young and she is beautiful. So you have a beautiful MEC.
Yes.
So what brought you to this environment of having to serve other people?
Yes. No, thank you, Sibongile, but thanks for the compliments as well. You look stunning yourself. Beautiful young woman.
Thank you.
You know, it all started, you know, in the 70s. Remember, 76, when we protested against the Bantu education. So that involvement, but also, you know, learning from my father, who was a political activist as well, learning, you know, what was happening at the time. I was only 14 years of age, but I began to understand, you know, the situation that we found ourselves as black people in South Africa. Went to Swaziland, came back, but also in Swaziland, I was in touch, you know, with the movement underground. Came back and I was still involved, you know, on the ground, just advocating, you know, for the needs of the people, you know, addressing the poverty issues, inequality issues, you know, the discrimination that we were suffering, all of us. And I think because of that, and nobody knew that one would, you know, be identified to be in government. So we were identified in 1994, you know, by the African National Congress, to be people who were actively involved in the communities. So that's how it all started. Because of the interest, because of the passion, because of activism, we were then identified to be in government, started in local government as a councillor in 1994. And I became a mayor in the Southern Metro Local Council, part of Soweto, major part of Soweto. And, you know, worked with the people and worked with the women in particular. You know, working together just to change the lives of women, dealing with poverty at that level, etc. And then got into the Greater Johannesburg Metro as a Speaker of Council, and then became a member of the mayoral committee there for community development issues, including poverty. It looks like I've been, you know, right through my life, right through, you know, my deployment, I've been dealing with issues of poverty with the people on the ground. So I think it's that that passion and that interest on working with people to see them improve their lives really got me into this work.
So it's not just intelligence, it's not just the brains and the beauty, it's the compassion as well.
It's a compassion as well
for other people.
Yes.
In one of the programs that we did, which is social work,
yes.
Somebody said, not everybody can be a social worker.
Absolutely.
So I suppose sometimes your journey is also carved by your attributes.
Absolutely.
As a person, your passions as a person, because I mean, you would not have been involved in such enormous responsibility had you not, had this burden of helping people and wanting to see other people doing better.
Yeah, no, absolutely, you're correct. It's not only about the education that we acquire. Mind you, I'm a science teacher because I have a bachelor in education.
You are what?
And I have a bachelor in science, but look at where I am now. As you correctly say, because of the character of a person and the passion and the commitment and dedication, working with the people rather than working in a lab with myself,
Sure.
So yeah, it takes a lot for one to work with the people on the ground.
Wow.
Yeah.
Some of the programs that a lot of them, for me, the ECD, for instance, we spoke about the issue of having to take care of elderly people, which you've renamed because it's not old age homes anymore. They are facilities for the elderly, which is beautiful. Can you tell us about that? Which one of your programs is closest to your heart?
Yes. I'm passionate to work with children, but also to work with older persons, as you correctly say. I don't leave out people with disabilities and young people. So fortunately, the work that we do, deals with those sectors of community. Children, we have a role and responsibility to ensure that the children are cared for, they are protected, and they are supported in accordance with the Children's Act of our country. And that's why we then are involved as social development to take care of orphaned and vulnerable children, but also to take care of children whose parents are suffering from poverty, unemployment, and inequality. So we actually therefore run programs such as your early childhood development, which means basically taking children who from 0 to 4 years of age, ensuring that they go to early childhood development schools, they acquire early foundation education, but also we remove them from poverty as well. Because
while we remove them from poverty, we need to take a break.
Yeah.
Please hold it right there. Please stay tuned. We need to take a break. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Initiating Insight with Sibongile. Today we are sitting with the MEC Nandi Mayatula Khoza. She's gracing us today with her presence. Before we went on a break, we interrupted because we had to go pay the bills. She was telling us about removing the young children from poverty.
Yes. We remove the children from 0 to 4 years of old really from poverty so that we can also release the mother to go and look for a job and be able to earn a living. In that way, we are able to reduce poverty amongst our children whilst educating them as well, but also protecting them from whatever could have happened if they were still, at home, running on the streets, etc. So in that way, we protecting, we supporting and caring for our children. Then we hand them over at the age of 5 to education for them to go to grade R and the primary education. And we take care of children who are vulnerable in our society. Children who are neglected.
Sorry, Mama, sorry to interrupt you. These children that we take from the parents who need to go and get a job, are we talking single parents here or single mothers or?
Yes, mostly it would be, single mothers, but sometimes there would also be a father. And in most cases, maybe one of them is working, or maybe both of them are not working. So we're talking about children who ordinarily depend on the state. Me and you, Okay. I have very old children, but your children we would afford to take them to an early childhood development center and pay for them. But for those parents who are unemployed, we then take care of the children. And right now, I think we're taking care of over 500,000 of children in Gauteng on early childhood development.
We're talking just Gauteng.
Just Gauteng, over 500,000. And we then also help, children who are neglected, abused, take them away from those abusive situations and place them in our child and youth care centers. But the courts are involved. We don't just take the children. The courts will decide what happens with the child. And we take care of those children again, just taking them away from abuse, from poverty. We take care of them in terms of provision of food, provision of clothing, education, etc. So those were the programs on children. And as I said, I also am passionate about older people.
Yes.
We no longer advocate for old age homes. It's now about centers, facilities, residential centers for older persons, where they're also taken care of, removed also from abusive situations, where maybe children taking money from ugogo nomkhulu babathole i-social grant yabo, and then they suffer. So we assist them. They go to these spaces, we provide food, and we provide all the needs to these older persons. We provide gym facilities so that they age gracefully.
Yes.
Baya gym, aba strong, badlali bola,
nice.
And bayacula, they have choirs. So these are older people really who are aging gracefully. People with disabilities, as Sibongile, we also take care of them with residential centers for them as well. We remove them from spaces where they are abused as well. You know how society is, so that they can be cared for, but also they are human beings who can take care of themselves. They can take care of their lives. They can be self-sufficient, and that's why we introduce protective workshops. Spaces where they learn a skill, and they produce furniture, they produce some crafts, and they sell. In that way, they earn a living and they earn an income. So those are the sustainable livelihoods programs that we engage our people on.
Wow.
Yeah.
We appreciate that we've had this program, Initiating Insight, to be precise, that we have this opportunity to understand, because, as citizens, we think, okay, first of all, we have this entitlement syndrome, I should call it, where, without even making an effort, we think that MEC, akazi ukuthi ngiyahlupheka u-MEC. Why angaze ngimbone nokuthi aze kimi? But MEC will not know, and there are structures in place and processes with which we should follow to get that help that we need from the MEC. How has your work what is the burden of your work? In other words, is your work easy at all?
Sure.
Are you able to do
this
because
work is not easy.
Boss wena phela. So you will tell Sibongile, go and do that.
I tell you.
Tell Evelyn, go and do that. Tell Miss Mlageni, go and do that. So why are you complaining?
Uyazi lobo boss lobo ukushiya lapha ekhaya. Ngihambe ke emsebenzini khumula icathulo ngirole ama sleeves ngishone khona. So akukho easy, umsebenzi onzima kodwa umsebenzi engiwuthandayo. Yazi mawunothando lwabantu uzoyi-enjoy into yenzayo. So essentially my phone is a public phone. People call me like almost every 30 minutes I get a call. MEC kunomuntu onganakudla lapha ngathi uzolala engadlanga. MEC nangugogo iyahlukunyezwa lapha. MEC yazi umntanami akana uniform.
Ungashayishayi MEC nayo. Serious. Public phone. You're not getting it from social workers because
no, abantu generally they have my number, and it's okay. So they call me directly. Yes. They call me directly. Ebese sengiyathatha ke udaba lwabo ngilinikezela head of department, althathe naye anikezela ama social workers if it needs ama social workers, ama community development workers if it needs them, njalo njalo. Then they must bring back a report ukuthi lo yamntwana lebehlukunyeziwa uphelelepi seke right manje uprotected uyabona nje.
Do you ever get feedback from the people who call you? Do you ever get feedback with, okay, siyabonga ke, ukusebenzisa public phone?
Bayabonga abantu angifuna ukuqamba manga
okay.
sithola ama-emails Sibongile. People are very grateful.
Okay.
Sometimes ngiye ngithole futhi ke ama-telephone calls from the ministers themselves.
Oh.
Ababonge nabo ukuthi hey siyabonga niyazama niyasebenza. Nabantu ke omama obaba njalo njalo bayabonga, and that makes your day.
Okay.
Uma uthola that call ethi siyabonga.
Sure. If you've just joined us, we are talking about the departmental key achievements, MEC, but we need to take a break right now. Please stay tuned, don't go away. Welcome back to Initiating Insight with Sibongile. We are still sitting with MEC Nandi Mayatula Khoza. We are talking the departmental key achievements. She's told us if you've missed, you'll have to see a repeat. She's told us about who she is. I must confess, even for me as a Sibongile, Uguti, it's quite it's refreshing to hear that umuntu osebenzela government unobuntu kanjena. And I, not because MEC sizwele nathi ukuthi unje ngoba kwenze njani. That's why I'm saying if you missed out, then you'll have to look and check out the Ilentuzana repeat. You told us about the war on poverty. Tell us more about that.
Yes, Sibongile, as you know, I mean, we are a country that still experiences, high levels of poverty, of unemployment and inequality because of the legacy of the past. But we've been trying our level best to work with our people for them to come out of the cycle, of poverty, ensuring that our people also get self-sufficient because we don't want them to depend on government forever.
Yes.
So war on poverty is therefore about introducing them to various programs on how to reduce poverty, them being involved in the whole program. So what we do, like I said, they report situations to us, and then the department will send social workers to go and do the household profiling, just to check, why are they in that situation? Sometimes you find that no one has an education, no one has a skill, no one is employed because of those issues, etc., etc. And then we introduce them to various departments as well, even to our programs of sustainable livelihood. We have 5 food banks where we introduce them to those food banks, but we say, you're not just going to get a handout and hold your arms, but what can you do? What do you want to do? So we introduce skills to them. Others would want to do their own gardens so that they produce their own food. Others will get into cooperatives and manufacture school uniforms that we provide to, vulnerable learners. And others would produce shoes, for the little ones. So they do those kinds of things so that they earn a living whilst we give them food. In that way, they live a better life. And then we also have another program which is called Welfare to Work, because these are young people, mostly young women, who getting social grants for their children. And then we say to them, no man, your children or yourself can't depend on social grants forever. You are a young person, what can you do? So they also get introduced to skills development. They are also trained in the process. And as we speak, some of them are professional photographers. Some of them are professional culinary people who are providing catering. And some of them are in the estate property, industry, and they are selling houses. So these are young people who were previously dependent on social grant. Social grant assists in alleviating poverty, but it mustn't end there.
Yes.
So we want them to come out, of dependency, depending on the social grant. And as we speak, we have 36,000 young people. We only started in 2013-14. 36,000 young people are now self-reliant because of these programs.
Mamnandi, when we speak about poverty, we take it for granted that we know what poverty is. In South African terms, mauti umuntu hluphekile, umuntu poor lo.
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
We're talking about really, the United Nations talks about a household that only has $2 a day. That's about 14 rands times to 28 rands a day. And I mean, we in South Africa talk about if you just put together the social grants of older persons, put those together, and that's all you have in a household, that house really is living below the poverty line. So that's why we then introduce a whole range of programs to those households. But we want them to be self-reliant.
Yes.
Yes, they mustn't depend on us forever. And I think it's important to say that it's not only government who does this work, it's also we have partnerships with non-profit organizations, what we call the NPOs or the NGOs. Yeah, because half of our budget is actually given to the NPOs because they do, you know, some of the statutory work. They also do some of the development work with their communities. So we're funding about, this year only, we funded closely to 2,700 NPOs.
So when we have complaints and think issues of service delivery, particularly in the programs that you've mentioned, we shouldn't just say the government is not doing anything. So there are other people that you are in partnership with that we should hold accountable.
Absolutely.
Just to be fair.
To be fair, indeed, they must be held accountable because when they receive this, you know, 2.5 billion rands each year from us, they sign a service level agreement that says we are going to be doing this and that and that. We look at the business plan. What are you all about? Some are about poverty, you know, eradication. Some are about skills development, etc. So we sign a service level agreement to say you are going to do these things. We are going to monitor you on a quarterly basis, on a yearly basis. You are going to be held accountable. So yes, indeed, it's us as government as well as NPOs, but we have a responsibility, Sibongile, to therefore monitor that NPOs are indeed delivering what they have, you know, agreed to deliver to our people.
Wow.
Yeah.
Ma'am Nandi, we've run out of time, but just throw a little bit of what you would like to say to our viewers at home and South Africans, whatever that comes from your heart that you want to say, maybe I didn't even ask. And while you say that, has 5 years been enough for you to have made a difference? Is 5 years enough? For my expectations,
I tell you, I mean, expectations are high. Sibongile, I mean, even now, I mean, we left with about a few days to end the term of office, but it's like I've just started the work. You know, right now, I've heard about the child in Carltonville who's been abused by an ECD teacher. So I have to leave everything else after here and run to that space and correct these things that are happening. But fortunately, you know, there are arrests because that's criminality. So we would like our people really to take good care of each other. We would like our people to love each other. Where are the values of Ubuntu, values of respect, values of humanity, you know? So we really would like our people to, you know, revive those values and principles of Ubuntu. Let's love each other. Let's not kill each other. Today we see children killing each other. We see adults abusing children. We see adults killing children. So that's the message I want to leave really with the people of Gauteng, the people of South Africa, that let's really re-inculcate the culture of love for one another.
I mostly criticize and I very much praise. Beautiful woman, thank you.
Thank you.
I'm not saying it because she's the MEC. She is beautiful, in and out. You heard for yourself.
You too, Sibongile, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. That's humbling. That's all the time we had for today. Please join our Facebook page, Sibongile Mlageni Initiating Insight, for further conversation on this subject. Thank you very much for having watched. Until next time, do take care.